Years ago, everybody in this country had a food pantry. You know, they had enough food that would get them through a winter storm or a hurricane or an unexpected illness or possibly an unemployment or even a neighbor that might be in need. You could always come to a neighbor and get some food. Nowadays, our pantries are the grocery store. It's always a good idea to have a little bit of food put aside. I live on the Gulf Coast, and when we have a warning of a big storm that's going to be hitting our area, grocery stores are empty in moments. What I'm going to be showing you is how I do long-term food storage, how I can take a package of food that'll have a life maybe of a year and extend it for 20 or 30 years. Let me show you how I do it. When you talk about food storage, you've got three things you got to worry about. Light. That's number one. You want to keep it in a dark area. Temperature. You want to keep it between 50 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And thirdly, you want to make sure that you remove all of the oxygen out of your packages. That's really what this is about. The way I do that is, without any fancy equipment, I order oxygen absorbers from the mail, and they'll come in an airtight package like this. They come in different sizes, and really what they are is iron dust in a food grade envelope. Okay? And when the iron dust hits oxygen, it reacts and creates rust, trapping the oxygen. And that's what we need. It removes the oxygen out of our packaging. When you open this package up, really what you want to do is transfer it rather quickly into an airtight container. And you want to have as much air removed out of that container as possible. So if you don't have a lot of absorbers, go ahead and throw some rice in the bottom of it, for example, to fill up that extra space. You're going to hear a ping when the oxygen is removed from your jar. And when you go to open it, it's going to sound sealed. Did you hear that? That's what we're looking for. I take my pastas or my rice, anything that might have a larva in it, and I freeze it for 3 to 4 days. And then I'll bring it out of the freezer and I'll put it on a counter for about a week just to acclimate it back to the room temperature, get the humidity out of it. And then I simply pour my pasta into my jar. And I bring it almost all the way to the top, just leaving enough room for one of my envelopes. For a quart-sized jar, I'm using 300 milliliter oxygen absorbers. When I'm doing this, I normally set it up kind of in an assembly line where I have many jars already filled so that when I open up this container of oxygen absorbers, they're ready to go, leaving it for a very, very short time exposed to the air. If it's a powder like a cocoa or a flour, I will wipe the top of my lid. And I don't have to soften this gasket in hot water. This can just go straight on it. So I'll just take my oxygen absorber, place it right on top, and hand tighten. And in a little while, I'll hear a ping when it gets sucked down. Why do I store dry foods in mason jars? I do that because I'm not only storing food, I'm storing canning materials, jars, lids, and rings, so that at a future time I may have to resort to canning myself, and I'll have it. I'll catch you on the next one. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this, and share it with people if you would. Let's get those numbers going to the million. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.